And we can give the Germans their turn. A defensive artillery, right, takes one of our shells, but breaks up their attack somewhat. They get hit pretty hard. Right, okay, division spotted up there. Good to know. One more shell. I just want to see if we were to move this. Okay, we can't get it beyond that this turn. I think it's at this turn. Let's, yeah, that's fully connected through there, so all right. Now, did the Germans make the right choice in attacking hard on the West Front and going, in essence, defensive on the East Front? Or would it have been better for the Germans to have attacked hard in the East and go defensive? Wow, they've left that open. Nothing can get there, though. And go defensive on the Western Front. I don't know if Beam Slam is still around, if he has any thoughts on that. Okay, so we have a brigade and a garrison there. Oh, we found a bunch of their army. Anything can get in there? No. No reinforcements available? Okay. thinking, did Germany had any choice as the war initiated by Austria and Serbia in the first place? Well, okay. I'm talking about, well, okay. Well, one of your questions is, did the German Empire have to uphold their treaties with the Austro-Hungarian Empire in regards to Russia? The answer is no, they didn't have to. They chose to. From a, shall we say, moral standpoint, that's probably the right choice. You know, you make a treaty. I don't know that Serbia was acting as a Russian puppet when it used its puppet to assassinate the Archduke Ferdinand, but Russia does come into defense of Serbia, which then calls in but Germany could have just been sort of, defensive on the Western Front and push hard because they had that defensive agreement with Russia or with Austro-Hungary to push hard against Russia. That, in my opinion, could readily have been an outcome. Now, so I'm going to say that I was anticipating us being able to reinforce. I guess we can't. Well, some of these moved. I don't know. Maybe we just moved them. Don't think that. No, they did move. Okay, we'll see. Now, I can tell you why. Yeah, this is worth taking. Get that city now while we can. But not to attack in the West, at least until the war with Russia was settled. Well, I'm not suggesting that they leave the Western Front undefended. I'm just, instead of looking at the Schlieffen plan as the way we start the war, push hard in the West to knock them out because the war in the East is going to take so long. So a quick blow. They could have easily just, and there were fortifications in the West. I don't know how significant they were, but they were there. Okay, well, now can we see? What I want to do is get this guy. Damn. Guess we have to wait another turn. Get him up here with the other artillery and concentrate the artillery. So we're not going to do that. Yes. So it doesn't matter whether France would wait or not. Now, there is definitely a cultural attitude that grows up in Europe is how fast you can, mobilize your forces into the field, and he who can mobilize his forces the fastest wins. If you can do it. Okay, if Germany had been quicker in Belgium, they would have probably won the Battle of the Marne, quite possibly. Then Paris is susceptible, and if it falls, it would be a huge blow. Absolutely, Yog Dog, you're right. Now, and I would say part of the Schlieffen plan, at least my understanding of it, presumed basically Belgium would allow German forces to marched through Belgium without significant military opposition. I think that was fundamental to okay, British and German forces clash on Mons in Belgium. Germany, yeah, is critical to. Okay, so we're holding the north up there. Good. To Schlieffen's plan that they'd be able to get through, but Belgium resisted hard, and it also sabotaged a lot of things like the railways and whatnot. Oh, it would have. Oh, it would have changed things dramatically, Yogdog. I'm totally sure of that one. That to me is not a question. Would it have? It definitely would have. Change things for sure. Yes, good. Get you up to shape. The fortifications in Belgium was probably the strongest, not easily undertaken, yeah. It wasn't out of the realms of possibility. Now, why did Germany attack the way they did in the West? The Franco-Prussian War. Again, partially from playing some of the scenarios from Strategic Command here. If you look at the Franco-Prussian War, that really sets Germany's mindset for the First World War and how they're going to deal with things. Okay, we're going to move you up into contact. You up into contact. You into here. Let's look at supply. Okay, a little better out there, so let's... And so you have to understand, if you will, Germany's thinking on this subject. Now, I may have blundered by, because that just isn't repairing that. Well, okay, let's see. I don't think it's letting me... I wanted to come right up to there. And move forward with these guys. Well, I'm going to move to here. Please take that. Push there. So I understand that trying to get Germany to do something it doesn't naturally want to do is going to be a difficulty. Or, it's... This is just a brigade here. No, that's just a brigade, but we're not concentrated. Much the other path was taken with historically usually has a benefit of hindsight. Yeah. Oh, yes. Hindsight is definite here. But it's also... is it inevitable that Britain comes into the First World War? Oh, okay, there we go. And a HQ unit. I'm pretty sure there's going to be somebody there. Oh, it's just the air unit. Well, I'm going to attack an air unit if I can find an air unit to attack. Oh, defensive artillery. Well, hello. but still, very good. Okay. Now, what we can do here is, let's see. How much is it going to cost me? 10 MNP. We're going to put you there. You to there, and we're going to... Do not know so much about pre-World War I politics, but probably Britain would have benefited more by staying out of the war. Well, absolutely, it would have been benefited because it wouldn't have had the lost generation of dead, and it wouldn't have had the immense cost shortening Britain's empire. You know, I mean, we can look hindsight, but there's a lot of people's talk that Britain would have come in anyways, even had Germany not invaded Belgium. And so I don't know if it's looking at hindsight or different perspective, because when the Germans look at the war before the war starts, or as the war is starting, it sees one enemy capital nearby, Paris, and another enemy capital. Well, is it Moscow or is it St. Petersburg? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But those two rather far away. Doesn't matter really which one, but rather far away. And it has the experience of Napoleon, figuring Napoleon was just 100 years before. Tactics and everything have changed. It's changed somewhat. I was going to say considerably, and they have. But a lot of the tactics are really going to be changing with this war. I mean, you have the railways and whatnot. You can see in the American Civil War. Again, you can another great game from Strategic Command. Yeah, it's a little painful on my cat over there. For some reason, they didn't move him. I don't know why. Wow, this is interesting. Interesting indeed here. Hello, Winter Vonatar. How you doing? If discussions are funny. Well, quite possibly, but I find them interesting. About the okay, eventually Britain did. Well, I would say Britain lost a lot more than it gained in World War One. And especially if you look at it from the perspective of what it ultimately lost. Short-term gains are just that. Can we strategically move? No, we can't. Okay. Walk up that. We are going to assault. Take a loss. Take even more loss. And you guys don't have enough supply here, is that it? Yeah, you don't have enough supply yet. they're getting more coming through there now. What if campaigns would be even more fun in Strategic Command? Was speaking with Yogdog yesterday about command with a campaign with Germany versus Japan. Win. Just like World War One, World War Two, era. I mean, I understand it. It's not specifically World War One or Two, but thinking more along the lines of when are you putting this huge suffering Britain and France, which helped Hitler. Well, man in the high castle scenario would be great. Oh yeah, well that yes, as a post-World War II period. Okay, let's see. We're going to see about moving you up that way, and we're going to come to there. Get you back to here. Sorry from that book directly, but yeah, I understand that type. But a post-World War II is what. We're going to move you back to where we get supply to reinforce you. Okay. See, my question is, Italy just gets ignored. Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, yeah, Italy gets ignored. I mean, what's the point of Italy? I mean, um, not to be too cruel to some of our Italian friends, but okay. Yeah, these guys were. I don't know that. Yeah, we're not. We're going to bring the artillery up and then pound through some of this. Is my idea, at least. And it looks like we're also going to see about going after Hindenburg here, or I don't know that this is Hindenburg, but what? Yeah, it's just an HQ as far as I can tell at the moment. See, I almost see. It depends on when we're. If you're looking at a Man in the High Castle, then yeah, okay, I could see that happening. British fight a rearguard action at Le Cateau. Probably butchering that. But in World War One terms, I guess it could be another Straits of Tsushima kind of battle, in that Germany sails its fleet to the Japanese waters and Japan sinks it. Let's start founding on these guys here. We need to get the supply path opened up. Right, well, come on, people. There we go. Now you've shattered. Well, good. Now you've shattered. Okay, well, he can... Oh, Max, good. Yes, Allenston is still, or is one of the objectives. X's for winning and losing, so the AI is paying attention to that. Okay. Well, we're going to retreat you back a little further, move you up. Town there. And so you have the sort of, the historical viewpoint that Germany has from the Franco-Prussian War. They're all prepared because of the Franco-Prussian War and the use of, if you will, guerrilla snipers in that war, the significant use of guerrilla snipers in that war. You have the Germans all sort of prepped for the idea of dealing with that and with harsh treatment planned out for them. I probably should have done that, but no, we won't do that right now. And there aren't any significant French partisan type snipers, but there are Belgian ones, and Germany goes hard on them. And so that's all talking in their mindset, as well as you have the sort of, if you will, European mindset of, and you're very right that had you taken Paris, it would drastically change things in France, probably more so than in a lot of countries. But the mindset that, oh, hey, you lose the war if you cannot successfully defend your capital, as just a sort of general idea of things. What we're going to do is pound up here. Well, that certainly displaced you. Okay, well, I can deal with that. These guys can now move up. Now we got artillery to really push hard there. We'll reinforce here. And which we can see in the Russian example of, again, Napoleonic era. Napoleon takes the capital and Russia doesn't automatically surrender. So not always the determining factor, if you will. Ownership of the capital, that is. I'm just pounding on him pretty hard here. Move up. You reinforce. Yeah. But I would argue it's more important to we got to march you back. That's right. Oh, no. Undo that. We want to come down to the railway. You get the hold there. It's more important to destroy their armies than to destroy the capital. sort of what we're doing here today. I think, well, okay. I'm pretty sure had Germany not invaded Belgium, had not invaded France, both the British, particularly with Belgium, the British people, and France, politically and whatnot, the populations would not have stood the casualty levels, because even with you did have what was it? I forget the year. Was it 1916? You had the large French revolts in the trenches. So you have, not quite going to a Russian Revolution situation, but you do have a serious, not just morale problem, but a serious command and control problem already going on. And that's with Germany being aggressive and holding French and Belgian territory. Had Germany been on the defensive and go, hey, we're just defending Austria, who is being attacked by Russia, propaganda being put out there, and propaganda is important. It's why people fight ultimately. It would have been different. Okay, let's see how many wars was lost solely because the capital was taken. Of course, Luxembourg, but then you try to destroy the enemy capital, but find that your own army died in the process. Yes, Winter. That's what happened. Belgium invasion was a must as it ensured advance submarine bases. Well, no, I don't think they were thinking of submarine bases at all with the Schlieffen Plan, which I think predates real submarine development. And I don't think Germany is looking at that as a factor for really anything. And before World War I starts. Oh yes, you can. Okay, good. Even just 1 point. Yes, we want to end it. Well, looks like they're retreating. They're giving up their defensive line. I know we can entrench, but I've been sort of mostly wanting to go hard pushing into them. Okay, turns here. Okay, well. And shattered. And von Francois, however you pronounce that, HQ is done. Now, I think this is a good moment to talk a little bit about history here that did happen. Well, okay. I'm not sure if it was that guy or some other one. Well, I think it was him. Was the commander on the Eastern Front in Prussia here, as opposed to down in near Breslau and that parts of Germany. I don't know. Silesia, I guess it would have been called. And he gets his army. He pushes out, gets his army afraid to be cut off from Königsberg and, supply lines to the west, and is requesting permission to retreat. Let me just make sure what I got that here. What's the general's name here? Was it him? I'm not sure. Who was it? Yeah, 8th Army commander was Maximilian von Prittwitz. I had to look that up there. So he's probably still around here in command. He asked permission to retreat. He gets fired by Moltke, and Hindenburg gets put in command. Hindenburg crushes Russia's First Army here under Samsonov, sort of at the battle, or the whole thing I think is sort of considered the Battle of Tannenberg, or part of the, here's Tannenberg over here, but they name it. And his army gets surrounded, destroyed. They capture about 90,000 prisoners, the Germans do. He and a small group of his staff, Samsonov, General Samsonov, is first trying to get out on horseback, can't do it. Eventually sneaking out through the night and getting to one of the towns around here, or I don't know if it's big enough to be on this map, but is approaching it, and they find that it's German occupied, and he excuses himself from the little command group that he's with, walks into the forest, and they hear a gunshot. And yes, the Germans later find his body with a bullet wound in his head, so he kills himself. So we just saw the destruction of a German command post, so that is a realistic thing here. Okay, no successful attack with that attack. Oh goody, defensive artillery. And I have a bit more of that here, but I was hoping real damage. Yeah, I do not keep track well enough as to who has struck. So destroying command and control of forces was a very real thing here. Okay, they have retreated back. These guys need reinforcements. Well, yeah, we can get them fully up to strength. Keep these guys as the northern flank here. Hello, Sven's Tiger 82. Good to have you here as a subscriber. Okay, so he's here running supply, command and control elements. Let's look at supply here. Okay, so strong enough supply in through here to keep reinforcing our forces, bringing in replacements, however you want to say that. I'm keeping him sort of here so that we don't have what just befell the other commander happen to us now. That hurt worse than I thought it would have. Okay. Now, concentrate some forces over here a bit more. Just keep him holding out there. And let's see how far west we can get these guys. Yeah, that's good. No, we'll just get into town. Now I feel a little more confident moving him up. I don't think they're going to march across here. But yeah, we could maybe use. There we go.